So back to your
Nah.
story. You said Cleveland knows the song for
Precious
it. Don't go
Lamb.
ahead.
It was Precious Lamb of God. I don't, is that like a Kurt Franklin
What about
song?
a
Is
It's a
that
Kurt
Kurt?
Franklin
Lamborghini?
song.
What
It's
about a
off his
Lamborghini?
Christmas album.
Not Lamborghini, Lamb.
Not the Precious
But
Precious
yeah, not
Lamb.
Precious Lamborghini. But fool.
I pulled up in
Yo,
that Precious Lamb like a Kurt
oh my
Franklin.
God.
What?
I can't.
Ew,
I
that's a
can't. You're now tuned in.
You're now tuned in.
You are now tuned in.
You now tuned in.
You are now tuned in
to the Juxtaposition Podcast. What's going on, y'all? Welcome to episode 66 of the Juxtaposition Podcast, aka the Extraordinary Nobodies, aka the Starting Five, aka the Five Heartbeats, aka Four Hubbies and the Possible, aka the Positivity Podcast. Reporting to you live at VAR today. Not really with the theatrics in the beginning. We have a bit of, some unfortunate news to share, from us and our personal lives and things like that. One of our good brothers, Mo Johnson, has passed away. So we're going to dedicate this episode to him in his honor. A little bit about Mo. Spring 07, member of Kappa Alpha Psi, Rutgers University. Mo was a really prominent North Jersey realtor, really out here making the move and making the way for black home ownership. Really big advocate of black home ownership. Really one of the happiest bros you could really know and see. I've never seen him without a smile on his face or joking about something. Fellow South Jersey Nuke from Williamstown, New Jersey, the Camden area. News came as a complete shock to us, but I definitely want to take time to send, love to his family, his chapter at Epsilon Rutgers University, and just want to shout out a few guys, Kawan, Oba, Christian, Eric, Ingram, his line brothers Kev, Andy Garcia, Floyd, just to name a few. We sending y'all our love and definitely wanted to make sure we dedicated this episode to him in his honor. So, y'all boys can go ahead and, give your shout outs and things of that nature, but wanted to start that way.
For sure. I just want to say definitely praying for the family, for the friends. And, it's tough, man, when you hear this kind of news, especially from someone so young. You just don't expect it to lose someone so young so suddenly. So I'm just praying for everybody who was close to him, everybody who was connected to him, just praying that we can, get through it and grieve properly, because you can't escape the grief. It's going to be here. So keeping everyone in prayer for sure.
Yeah, I just co-sign that. Pretty much you guys said everything. I would just say to the listeners and to the listeners from that chapter that know me very well, VAR and Cleveland are not in the state of New Jersey, but I am. So if y'all need the brother to lean on, need me to do anything, help, whatever, plan, coordinate something, by all means, give me a call, hit me up. I'll be reaching out to some of you brothers as well just to do temperature checks and make sure, because I think that's something that we need to do a little bit more often. So definitely prayers with y'all, with the chapter, prayers with his family, and any other loved ones that's close to him.
And there is a GoFundMe that, if you're listening to this episode, will be in our episode description. Anything helps. So, but I definitely want to call out the fact that Mo was 36 years old, super young. You know what I mean? So it's unfortunate, but that kind of informs our conversation that we're going to have today, which is about how do you deal with untimely loss to people who are super close to you. I've made no bones about the fact that I lost my mom in 2016. I was 29 years old. I was living in California. She was in New Jersey. Came as a complete shock as well. I know that Zoe and Cleveland are both no stranger to loss and grief. So we just want to just open up the conversation to, how do you get through something like this where you are, I'll start with you, Cleveland. How do you get through something like this where there's no real rhyme or reason as to, there's nothing that can explain, that makes sense to say, okay, natural causes. It's how do you reconcile in your brain that this person is no longer here?
I think first you just got to give yourself permission to feel feel what you feel when you feel it. I think too many times when people experience loss, they try to be strong, try to hold it in, all of that stuff, or they feel guilty about feeling a certain way. If you laugh for too long, you feel guilty. If you cry for too long, you feel guilty. So it's like one of those things. Just give yourself permission to feel what you feel in that moment, and ride that feeling and feel it completely. You know what I mean? I think that's something, over the last year, you mentioned it. I mean, me and Zoe lost our grandfathers in the same year. You know what I'm saying? So, like, just give yourself permission to feel whatever you're feeling in that moment. That's one thing that can help.
And I remember back in the day, like, when we all met, '04, '05, Zoe had already dealt with tremendous loss at that point. And I remember telling y'all, like, in a joking way, like, I ain't been through shit. Like, I hadn't gone to a funeral at that point. And granted, times change, and boy, do you get humbled. But Zoe, you're probably one of the closest folks to me that has experienced loss at a young age. Like, and I know it never gets easier, but how do you then deal with situations now as like us in our mid 30s?
Well, I try to take it on a case by case basis. I did, y'all know, like, coming into freshman year at Rider in 2003, I was 16, turning 17, and I had lost like one of my best friends to a car accident, literally like weeks before I'm supposed to move into Rider. And it was weird because that was my best friend there in high school, and then weeks before the accident, I met Cleveland, who would ultimately be, my best friend. In the duration, like it was like a weird basketball like sub, like what I'm saying, like coach you in, coach you out. So it was like it was kind of strange, and then like obviously the following year, then VAR, you came to school, whatever. So I think it was case by case. Like I lost my grandmother when my mom's mom, who I was extremely close with, and I was 11. Like, you know what I mean? And that one, I just seen a lot of weird stuff. My mom's best friend was like the lady who taught me how to swim. She's like my godmother. Yeah, I mean that she passed a month before my best friend did. That summer of '03 was not a good summer for me. Yeah, I mean, so and it was like I was like I ain't want to go to school no more. But again, case by case, some of them are harder to deal with than others. Like if one person was sick, it's a little easier to cope with because you see the
Right.
decline. You know what I mean? So you're like, all right, well, we're checking up, doctors are telling you like, this ain't going
And
to be
it begins to make sense. It's like 1 + 1 = 2. They're no longer here
correct.
because they were sick. So it's like, got it.
Got it. Yeah, it was inevitable at this point. I'm just trying to be selfish, trying to hold on. I'm praying for like miracles and all type of. I mean, there are miracles that do happen, but the odds of it aren't. And by the time you're old enough, you've heard and you've talked to other friends. They're like, oh yeah, I lost this person. I lost that. You're like, oh, okay, so I'm not. I'm not the only person. And at that point in time, like I probably wanted to still like even now, like when Cleveland and I just lost some our grandfathers, like we're probably the last of the Mohican with grandparents. Like a lot of
Yeah.
people grandparents not even alive, yo. I
Word.
got one grandma left. Like, you know what I mean?
I
So
got both of mine.
um
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, so it was crazy because we haven't we were just fortunate enough to still be around. But again, the harder ones that are unexpected, the youthful, uh, um, traumatic, something wild or crazy. I mean, those are extremely hard. But I would tell you this: a lot of people don't know this aspect, but like, I don't want to. I'm not built for it because no one's built for it, right?
Right.
And I think probably, knock on wood, it's been a little easier, not easy at all, but
Mm-hmm.
easier because it hasn't been direct like my immediate family.
Mm-hmm.
Um, which that I'm like I don't like we shared a season or two ago where you and James both lost a parent, like, you know what I mean, like
Mm-hmm.
I still have both of mine, so I think that might hit me crazy, you know what I mean,
It
but
for sure
in the
will. Not gonna
same.
wish that on anybody listening at
Yeah,
all.
but again, certain things are inevitable. Like, you know what I mean, it is what it is. And the timing, we don't have a clock schedule. we don't know, like, okay, we can look at the clock, like, all right, I got this much time left. Like, no, you have no
Mm-hmm.
idea. But
Mm-hmm.
I started at even the youngest situation I've ever experienced as a kid or youthful experience death, like when Var, like you said, when you met me, you're like, whoa, like you went through all that. I was
Yep.
in I think first or second grade, and I watched my classmate who's a friend of mine drown, like right in front of us on the field trip. Like it was
Right. And
nuts. Like I'm
imagine that.
six,
Like
7 years
you don't
old.
have, you don't have, like you have no tools, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
all reaction. It's like
Mm-hmm.
it's all reaction, and then your parents monitoring your movements and your cognitive abilities as you go forward to see is that affecting him. You know what I mean? But as adults, yeah, it gets easier because on the heels of my mom passing, everything's possible. You know how KG is like anything's
And
possible.
this part,
Anything,
yeah.
Yeah.
anything is possible, and it probably won't hit me like that did until maybe I have my own kids, right?
Hmm.
And like I don't know if that pain can exist. So everything after has become more digestible post.
That's the word. Yeah, yeah. You could embrace. You could take the hit. Like you know what I'm saying. Not it's like muscle memory, kind of the emotion memory. Like you know what I mean. You're like, okay, I've been down this road. I know how to cope with. I know. Like literally, when my grandfather passed, like I didn't. I was kind of numb to the feeling. Like I didn't.
I was gonna say because I was with you, which
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
another
You.
anomaly where it's like we haven't been in each other's presence each and every day, any of us, on a day-to-day
Mm-hmm.
basis in years. But the fact that I was with Zoe the day in the moment he found out his grandfather passed, it's gonna be one of those moments you remember forever. But also because I've been through this, you check to see how your man is doing, how your boy is doing, and I knew that you were processing, but you to me, correct me if I'm wrong. To me, you process this as a father now, like you have children, you have a wife, you are a son, you are a grandson, but you are also you have your own ecosystem. So we found out in ShopRite, and then you had to go back to your domain, your home, right?
Mhm.
And then figure out how to tell your family and in what manner. And whereas maybe 21-year-olds though may have been able to feel it in real time, I feel like I saw you processing how to figure it out and how to be there for your sister, your mom. You know what I mean? That's kind of what I observed in
Yeah.
that moment.
Yeah, because they were all there. Like my mom more so like, and my dad too. Because my dad, although that wasn't his father, that was his homie, and he took hella care of him. Like you know what I'm
Right,
saying, like
right,
very like so. Really for the both of them, because I know that was like a lot. Like especially it happened in their house. Like you know what I mean. So that's like a
right.
whole nother situation. But I just was like, you know what, somebody. I was preparing for everybody else to be falling out, and I was
Yep.
like, somebody gotta keep it together. So
Yeah. Sometimes that's the mistake though, I think. Like in
Yeah,
trying
for
to be the
sure.
one to like keep it together. You know what I mean? Because you can only do that for but so long. You know what I'm saying? Like being the person that like, okay, I'm gonna be strong because I know my mom going through it or I know my sister's going through it or whatever. Like, but that causes you to kind of compartmentalize things and then you never really get to experience or when it does hit you, because it's going to hit you, right? And when it does hit you, it's like, dag, like it feels so much heavier than maybe it would have had you had that release at a different time.
Well, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this then, from a black man's perspective, right? You all, both of y'all are blessed enough to have families right now, right? I hopefully I'll be blessed enough to have my own family in the next couple of years. Now, with that said, from as a black man dealing with loss, having to quote unquote protect your family, but to Cleveland's point, really stunting your own emotions. How do you deal with that while also dealing with your own and prioritizing your feelings while trying to protect your family? Cleveland, I'll start with you. How do you do that?
There's no easy answer for that, to be honest. I think it's something that like it's something that you're always aware of. When you have children, I would say specifically, like it's something that you do automatically. It's like an innate thing. Like, let me be strong for my children. Like, at least when you're giving the news, like, so when you say, how do you do it? I don't know if there's a real like direct answer for how, because it's different. So for example, when
Well, how do
my
you do
grandfather,
it?
well, my grandfather passed suddenly, right? I wasn't prepared for it. He was like, he was older, but he wasn't sickly. He was still moving around, driving, did everything on his own. So like for me, it was just like it caught me off guard. So when I had to explain that to my daughter, I could barely get through it without showing my true emotions. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, and then once it came out, I was just like, all right, it just is what it is. So like I didn't really try to have that balance this past time. I have in the past.
Which I think is healthy, but
Yeah,
it's not something that comes standard, right?
it's
I
not.
think the standard operating procedure is kind of what Zoe was meaning, like you got to brace for impact for everybody. Like, you
Yeah.
know, we all gonna
Well,
get hit.
also like certain thing, like he said, it was sudden, and unexpected. Mine was a little bit more gradual. My grandfather was, in his 90s, and he was on the decline, but still functional. Could have a conversation with you. But there was a week where things just got a little funky, and then I was like, because remember, Var, when you were coming out here, we're like, remember I told you, I'm like, y'all, I hope this man hold off
Right.
until I on the selfish tip, I was like, I hope he hold off until after the party, like.
After the party.
Yeah, I mean, because I'm like, that would kill everything. Like, it'll throw everything up. And it's just like too much. And literally, he did. He literally held down and said, I give you till 10 a.m., my G. Like, and then I'm out of here. Like, and it was 10 a.m. the next morning while we were in shop ready to go get some breakfast
Yep.
food.
Yep.
That's when we got the call. But also, Cleveland explaining it to the family, like, Amaya's 14, 15, right? So, I don't want to say easier, but it's for like I have a 6-year-old who was a 5 at the time, and then one who just literally just turned 9. And my 9-year-old is easier to explain, but my 6-year-old, like, it's still like, what is that? Like, what is death? She know, you know what I mean? Like, where's he go? Literally, she asked. This was like after the funeral on the way home. She's like, how did he get in that box? Like, who put him in there? And I'm like, what? Like, it's a 60. Like, you kind of want to laugh. You're like, what are you saying?
That's a question that Alonzo's child would ask for
Yeah,
sure.
For
like, well,
sure.
how's this?
100%.
And I'm like looking at her, what did you say? And she's like, yeah, but. And I'm like, oh, my mom's looking at me. Like, I'm like, well, can you help me? Shoot, like, somebody say something.
Help me.
Yeah, please. So,
So obviously, alluding to the fact that there's no right or wrong way, but on the black male perspective, and I think we touched on this before last season, maybe a couple seasons ago, but to rehash it because of this, traumatic event, how do you then deal with sudden death, understanding that you should be more sensitive and to feel, but your natural inclination is not?
I go in the corner. I mean, I did that even in I don't know if Barview was with us when we went down to LBI back in the day. Just like '09 with as like Caitlin and Al and all of us.
Probably
We
not.
had gone then. I just figured because that summer we was always like every other
Yeah,
day.
everywhere.
But we had gone down there and I had experienced like a month prior of my great grandmother passing who lived with Darnell. And
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't until we went on that trip and I was on the beach like they were all over there. I was by myself. And that's when I had my little like moment, as you say, like the breakdown. And of course, who comes walking right on time? Alejandro. Yeah, like, what's wrong with you? What's happening? I'm like, oh man, you were supposed to be over there.
Hold on, Cleveland. This a grand question. Now, was you shoulder crying? What you did? Like, could they see you from afar? Like, how
Nah,
she
Just
know
shoulder
that you?
smoking.
no, I think she was. I don't think they seen me. Like, I think it was like, yo, I'm coming to get you because we going to do something. Like, yo, everybody
Oh,
was on the beach. Just like, yo, let me go get Zoe because he over there. I had headphones on too, so I didn't hear. Maybe they
okay.
was calling me. So I don't. They probably were calling me, and I just was like zoned out, like into the ocean view kind of look.
Right,
And then
right.
as I was turning around, she's like walking. I'm like, oh man, this is not good. And then of course I did shoulder cry like F it. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
you already
It's
here
like that.
now. Yeah, I
Mr.
mean that's
Peace,
my
man.
sister. Yeah, I mean that's my sister. So like, if somebody gonna see me go, I mean, we didn't share tears all the time, yeah. So it's like, all right, I felt comfortable enough to like, all right, cool.
It's the peaceful moments that get you, bro. It's like the moments when the chaos calms down and it's just quiet and it's still, and especially if you're looking at something like to me, like an ocean is just like majestic, or mountains is just like majestic, like something that you know God made. Like a man didn't make that beach, a man
Right.
didn't make this mountain. And when you're staring at something like that and it's peaceful and it's still, it's like that's when those feelings come out. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that's when, like you were just talking about, like how do you manage it and where does it go? I think sometimes it happens during those still moments. It's like
Right.
right now, everybody, as a man, the first thing you do is jump into action mode. So you said GoFundMe. That was the first thing I was thinking. I was like, all right, well, you know what I mean? Is there any bread we can send? Whatever, whatever.
Yep.
Like as a man, the first thing you want to do is jump into action and see if there's anything you can do. Because as black men, we're so inclined to just perform, 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 do. So when someone dies, it's almost like, well, what can I do? You know what I mean? And sometimes there's nothing you can do. And then when you have enough things to do, you're busy, whatever. But then once it calms down, it got you, and you can't do nothing
So
with it.
this is a perfect segue to number one, black male sensitivity. Like black male sensitivity is not something that we speak about, right? Now I made a joke about Zoe's shoulder crying because I think that that's okay, right? It takes a certain amount of confidence and comfort to feel as if you can be sensitive, right? Now, one of our fraternity brothers has just passed away. The first thing I told Andy when he called me about it was like, let me know when the funeral is. I'm coming on the flight. Action. Right? But I didn't feel a morsel of like real emotion because I'm so far removed until I played that song. It's so hard to say goodbye. Then I thought about the last time I saw him. Then I thought about, damn, they're like, I won't see his smile again. I won't be able to like bust it up with him. I won't be able to take a flick with him. Like that level of sensitivity is not on the forefront. The forefront is action, but it should be reversed. It should be, let me feel this and then react. But it's just not the case.
Yeah.
Yeah, cause yeah, that I mean, well, I'm part slow, so like that song, it's a ill song, but it doesn't the humor in my brain, it doesn't like resonate.
I
Brother
know what you
Martin,
was thinking.
What I'm
I,
thinking, Cleo.
you was thinking it's so hard to say goodbye to my mama bird.
Yes, that
yeah,
Martin
right, yeah,
episode. So
right.
that's why, like, whenever I hear that, I don't even hear that song regular no more. I always hear and see the Martin episode. So to me, I'm like, damn, I'm supposed to be, but this song, I just keep seeing the episode play in my head, and I'm like, damn, boy, why you gonna play this song? Like, you know what I mean? Like
You know
certain
what's
songs.
ill? You know what's ill? To be completely honest with y'all, speaking of black male sensitivity, the times in which I cried because my mom passed was all to music. The first, the first song I cried to, I was at the airport in San Jose going back home. It was Mary J. Blige. I can't remember this song. I got it written down, and I was like, this song of all things made me like just maybe share one. But you know what gets me every single time?
What?
Mama by Boys to Men.
Oh yeah,
Every
that's valid.
time.
That's valid.
Every time. Second verse, Wanye start going crazy. It's like,
Oh, and you start riffing and all that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Nah, I mean that's
yeah.
valid. I get it. Yeah, songs definitely is the usually
They do.
when cause you think it to yourself and they hit and you like in your own zone and
So,
then your emotion come out.
so Zoe is the Atlantic Ocean. Boys to Men for me. Cleveland, what is it for you?
For me, it's a song as well. It's a specific song my grandfather used to sing. I'm gonna try not to get choked up. I don't even know if I can say the title right now, bro. But
Okay.
it's
But it's
a
music.
song called "There's Not a Friend Like the Lowly Jesus." It's a hymn, and my grandfather used to sing it every Sunday in church, every Sunday. And by the end of it, he would always just be like in worship and crying and everything. My grandpa was like you know what I'm saying, like walked around with a knife, real old school Southern dude. You know what I'm saying? So like he
Wishing the
didn't he didn't
good.
cry, like you know what I'm saying, but like when that
Right.
song, when he at the end of that song, it just meant something different to him. You know what I'm saying? And this is somebody who grew up in a Jim Crow South,
Right.
was only able to go to school past a certain level because a lot of black men in the Jim Crow South couldn't, like, you couldn't even finish high school, bro. You had to finish at like 8th grade. So like, you
And
know
you
what I
gotta
mean?
work.
When he sings that song, "There's Not a Friend Like Jesus," like he came to South Jersey, bought land, built his own house, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so like he really experienced God for real. So like that song, man, like that gets me. That gets me when
I
hear
would say I
something.
got two songs that got me.
No,
Because I
you
was
already did it. It's
no,
the
I said I
ocean.
had my headphones on while I was looking at the ocean. I was listening to music. I was. It's a music thing though. It definitely is a music thing. I would say the two songs would probably be because at that time when I was listening to was Maxwell's "Pretty Wings." Because I just think of
Yeah,
like wings, like you're like okay,
yeah, like
you've left.
angelic,
You know
like
what
a
I mean?
bird. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like that. And then um Precious Lamb of God, Cleveland, you know that song.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Cause I always think of like I remember that joint was on like
Hold
repeat
on,
at
time
my
out.
grandmother.
But why? I don't
You
like
know
how
you
y'all
don't
be
know no
doing this.
gospel
I don't
songs.
like how
Get
you
out
said
of
Cleveland, you know
here.
that song.
You know you don't
Just
know
like
the type.
last
First of
week,
all,
Cleveland said, it's never too late for braces.
See,
And
I
look
did
right
that
at me. And look,
after you said I was looking at you. I made that face at you.
nah, you
Bruh.
did that.
I
So
just said it's
now
never
y'all
too
tag
late.
teaming again.
yo,
No, but look, in context, if you listen to that episode, Zoe said, like, some of y'all need to get y'all teeth straightened. And I just was encouraging people after Zoe hit him with the 1-2. I was just like, it's not too late.
Nah, you said boy in the
leave
purple
it to
hat.
me.
It's not too late. Never too late.
Yo, why you
Good for you.
describe
All
you
good.
that? Terrible. Y'all terrible.
So back to
Nah.
your story. You said Cleveland knows the song for I
Precious
don't. Go
Lamb.
ahead.
It was Precious Lamb of God. Is that like a Kurt Franklin
What about
song?
a
Is
It's a
that
Kurt
Kurt?
Franklin
Lamborghini?
song.
What
It's
about a
off his
Lamborghini?
Christmas album.
Not Lamborghini, Lamb.
Not the Precious,
But
Precious
yeah, not
Lamb.
Precious Lamborghini. But fool.
I pulled up in
Yo,
that Precious Lamb like a Kurt
oh my
Franklin.
God.
What?
I
Ew, that's a
can't.
bars right there.
Yeah.
Just a
Lay,
bar.
hold on. What they be saying? Lay that.
Lay
Lay that.
that.
Lay that. Yo, I will tell you this though, to add to why a lot of black men have to go into action mode and because of the planning and coordinating and organizing
Mhm.
for especially like funeral situation. I know depends on your family. I'm not speaking for everybody, but I know with me and my family, extended and everything, I have to plan refereeing. Like it gonna be some shit.
Oh
So
yeah.
Yeah,
like
yeah, we've
I'm
seen that
already thinking,
firsthand.
yeah, like I'm already like, all right, well, damn, like you know what I mean. That means this gonna happen, that's gonna. So
You know what? And
it gets different.
I still
I
think
use Zoe
back.
as I use Zoe as a reference when my mom passed because I've heard all the like you know the like what this is gonna be, what that's gonna be. So I was like, yo, I came in, flew in, took care of business, got all the things taken care of, which is another whole other area of avoidance. But then I was
Mm.
like, everybody was on their best behavior. Funeral went off without a hitch. Everything's all good. I said I gotta go be with my boy. So I left the day after my mom's funeral, went over to be with Zoe, chilling with y'all. The next day, shit hit the fan. Matter of fact, the same day, because me and Zoe went to the smokehouse in Trenton, and I got a phone call. My cousin and my dad getting into it. My grandma and my dad getting into it. I'm like, motherfucker. And I feel like I seen Zoe looking at me like, told you. Told you.
I'm telling you,
I'm like, yo, I know you ain't experienced it yet, but it's coming, my G. It's coming.
it's
Yeah.
always going to be some sort of offense when it comes to a funeral, a black funeral, I should say. Like somebody gonna feel left out. Somebody gonna feel like they should have been in the program. Somebody feel like they should have sung a
In
selection.
the pro.
And it's like,
Right.
I'm telling you, bro.
Nah,
Like, why
that's a
wasn't my
fact.
name in
I'm
the
not gonna lie.
program?
Yeah, I'm
It's
not
like,
gonna lie.
dang, man. Like, I don't, I
Hey
didn't know
yo, that
y'all still
selection
talk.
thing, that's a whole nother ball game. I think we have to like have an episode just on like how you would plan your funeral because y'all
Yeah.
know my rule. I don't want nobody singing at my joint. Play the song, keep it moving.
Nah, if
Don't
somebody
run.
can sing, they should sing at your joint, though.
You know,
Nah,
Yeah,
it's
but
like,
usually it's the person who
Gabe
can't.
gonna sing. You know Gabe gonna
nah.
sing.
Well, Gabe can sing. Gabe can sing, though.
But you know
Like, it's
Gabe's gonna
just,
sing.
yeah,
Is he
he's
gonna be
going for it.
nervous?
No, he's gonna skip the
Yeah,
second
Uh,
verse.
that's the only thing.
He's gonna skip the second verse, but he gonna sing.
and repeat a line?
But you
I
did
love you
that.
when your hair gains weight, girl. Like, what? That's not how it go, bro.
And they say your hair gain weight. Yeah, I'm dead. I can't mess with y'all.
Keeping it a being. How many girls you know hair gain weight though?
I never see that happen.
It gets volume.
Value.
Yeah,
Oh
I
man.
can't.
I
I
was gonna
can't.
say, Zoe, you did this when you let him sing at your wedding. You did
I
that.
took a
Certainly did.
chance. I think at the
No,
wedding.
Gabe
held
was
it down.
solid though. He just
He
had that
made
one
us
flow.
nervous in the rehearsal.
Yeah, he was super nervous.
He was like the one and the 3 or the 2 and the 4. I can't figure it out.
Yeah, I got a rule though, because I done been to a handful, and I'm like, why is this person singing this? Like, you can't hit that note. You ain't practiced this, like.
Or they
And
or
if
they
you're
try to sing it.
emotional,
They try to sing it and nothing comes out. We've been seeing it.
yeah,
No, that's strange. But
just play the song.
to put a button on this, I'll let y'all give your final words out before we shift to the next topic. But rest in peace to our brother Mo Johnson, Trillz.
Yes, sir. Much love, bro.
Definitely condolences to his family. Like I said before, if and when they have something, I will be in New Jersey. But super, super heartfelt shout out to all the brothers of New Jersey who are feeling it. Even some people who aren't over the death of another brother, Kareem, that passed away a couple years ago in the compound. So, just definitely rest in peace to Mo. And y'all can feel free to say anything y'all want before we shift gears. Yeah,
I mean, I'll just piggyback on what you just said, man. Just much love, rest well, good brother. Like it's so unfortunate. It's so sad. When I first heard the news, I was hoping it was someone else. Like I knew it was him, and I literally asked the question, like, nah, not the boy from Williamstown. Like not,
right.
You know what I mean? But so sad to hear the news, man. Praying for his family again, the chapter, all of his close friends and relatives, man. All love to y'all.
Same, man. Y'all done said it all. Regards to everyone that's impacted by this. And just, I guess the message here is to, we usually say stay strong, but at this point, just let it go. Let go and let God let it out, and then get strong afterwards. That's my message.
For sure. So with that, we're going to take a bit of a hard left. So there's been this clip that's been in the ethos the last couple of days, and I can specifically say there have been like 3 people that have tagged me. It was like, y'all got to talk about this clip. So I'm going to play the clip, and then I want us to react to it raw. We haven't spoken about it beforehand at all. We're just going to let it be. Let me get this thing going.
Literally, she says, I got a good job. I make very, very good money. And she says, the only thing I need now is a man. It's like, yo, it's like who wants you? You're right. Like once you have achieved these things, you have unfortunately disqualified yourself.
Ooh, shit.
And what it is these, and this is the thing. I'm not blaming
the women are gonna hate him for that shit.
So I know you talked over the one part. Let me make sure I make sure everybody can hear it clear.
Running back. My bad.
All right, so I'm gonna play it right now.
It's like, yo, it's like who wants you? Who wants you? You're right. Like once you have achieved these things, you have unfortunately disqualified yourself.
Ooh, shit.
And what it is these, and this is the thing. I'm not blaming
the women are gonna hate him for that shit.
They are gonna.
All right, I'm gonna leave the who wants you alone first. I'm gonna go with the once you've achieved these things, you've disqualified yourself. I think that is a ridiculous statement, bro. As someone who is, married to a black woman, someone who has, black female children, I want them to work hard to accomplish whatever it is they want to accomplish and not feel that they're detracting from someone by having their own ambition and trying to achieve their own accomplishments. It is crazy to me that any man would think that someone being successful and driven is a disqualifying factor from finding companionship in a male. And I'm just speaking as a heterosexual male. Whenever relationship you're in, to have that feeling that if I do well, I'm disqualifying myself from romance, that doesn't even add up. To me, it doesn't even make sense. Like, and it sends the wrong message, bro, because everybody, I'm a movement by myself and I'm a force when we're together. You make me better, all of that stuff. Like, we can't sing those songs and be like, she's my queen, and then at the same time saying that you're achieving too much. Like either she's making you better or she's not. And making you better shouldn't mean her making herself worse. And that's what that clip sounded like in the context that I just heard it. To me, that's wild, yo. That's a crazy statement right there. You've disqualified yourself by your success. That's wild.
I've never heard of a relationship glass ceiling, and I think it's ridiculous. And let me break it down a few ways.
You said relationship glass ceiling?
Glass ceiling, because in the corporate glass ceiling, right? There's women can only get but so high, and at that point, you're not going to break that space. So it's like the further context in that clip, it talk more about how he may not be speaking for himself, but he's speaking for a body of men that he knows. And because when women are achieving in that ballpark, when they make good money and they have their own home and they have all these things going for them, that may make them feel like they don't need you. And he mentioned verbatim, he's like, that at that point, she's looking for a Robin. She don't need a Batman. That is purely ego. And not only is it ego, but it's like toxic, like you want someone to depend on you. I can't stand on my own too, with my lady also being a breadwinner type of toxicity. This is some of the highest levels of bitch assery that I've heard in my life. I can't really get down and I couldn't be friends with homeboy. How do I know that you're going to be treating other people in your life if you treat your wife like that, or your potential partner? You're like, nah, she make 130. I can't. She going to be too demanding.
Well, then they're going to be sizing your pockets. Like, yo, you know what I'm saying? That's the type of person that's going to be. But I will say, it threw me off when I heard it. I was like, whoa, this dude just jumped off the boat. Like, you just wilded out. And you definitely, if you're not married, you cut your supply water line clean off. Dry, as they say, you dried up the box with that statement. And then if you are, when you get in the crib, like, you might get a side eye or some type of comment like, well, what you think about me? Or what, like, you don't know how that's going to play out. I don't know the dude, like, more power to him. But I will say, I agree with Cleveland in the sense that to say you disqualify yourself is nonsense. The phrase is get in where you fit in. Obviously, you don't fit in, so then you can't get in. That's just what it is. But I will say there is something about women that they're not disqualified, but you might not be in their arena of choice.
Right. You don't fit.
But it's all financial. Like, you might be the guy willing to be okay with the breadwinner wife or girl, whatever, and be like, hey, I'm with it. Let's do it. And y'all might make a perfect match, a perfect like teamwork, make the dream work situation, but you may not even get the chance to because they may look down on you.
Hold on. I know where you're going, but I think that's a different conversation because but speaking of homeboy, like his perspective, meaning that she can't. It's monetary.
Don't nobody want her. Yeah.
She's used goods. Now let's pause. Let's stop for a second because now let's bring it to our real lives. We all know women, high achieving, very strong work ethics, a super solid personality, has all the things that a strong man would want, but they may have trouble finding love, right? Now, with that narrative out there of the clip that I just played, and what y'all have been seeing, what is the disconnect? Why does that disconnect even exist at the level at which it does?
I think partly because of where Zoe was heading. I think he himself, like, it sounds like he may have experienced some kind of rejection from a
he as in the
woman.
dude, not Zoe, y'all,
dude,
not Zoe.
The dude.
Because you connected it too close.
I was saying in the spirit of what you were talking about of like men being disqualified by the
Zoe,
woman because they were.
That was it's never too late.
Y'all know I'll be throwing y'all under the bus. Don't do that, yo. Y'all know I'll do that to y'all.
We got a whole CDL the way you driving this bus.
Nah, I would never do that to y'all. No, but like I think it's a thing where he may have been rejected by a successful woman in the past, and maybe he's carrying that with him. So his idea is successful women don't really quote unquote need a man. So I'm going to say this, like, this is my outlook on how successful women think. Here's the thing though, when it comes to that term need, right? Like,
You shouldn't need anybody.
nobody needs, like, exactly. I shouldn't need you to survive. I shouldn't need you to get by. You want to be desired. I want you to want me until you feel like you need me, right? But I don't want you to need me.
But talk about what type of man needs a woman to need him at the level that
That's
not
a low
just
self-esteem.
emotionally,
That's
not just emotionally, financially.
Exactly. So
Talk
That's
about
low
that, like,
self-esteem and
because
that's low self-esteem and controlling. You have a control issue.
we are black men. We are black men, right? And I know that people are gonna be listening to this. Like, I want y'all to like talk about the psyche that exists for men like that. Now, we may not be men like that.
Well, yeah,
But-
we can only talk about so far because we don't have that psyche. So I can't really like. I can see
we
we've
have-
known
but
guys
we
like
know
that.
people like that.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
have locker room access, so to speak.
Correct.
We are flies
Correct.
on the wall. So people want to know, without dry snitching, why does that? What the fuck is that?
All right, Steve Harvey.
Stop. You've been here before.
Try to
It's
give out the
It's
book.
definitely low
Yeah.
self-esteem, bro. Bro, it's definitely a bit of insecurity and low self-esteem.
Yeah, I'm on
Like-
team insecurity for sure.
Because it's like, if I'm not the top earner, if I'm not the most ambitious person within the relationship, then that must mean that she's better than me. That's what you think. You think that women that succeed on that level are better than you, and you don't want to feel like somebody's better than you and within a relationship, so you
Or
don't
you're
want that
equal.
type of woman.
Or you're equal.
That's another thing, bro. Like, I got to be superior.
Yes,
And I
like
not superior with internal qualities. I gotta make more money. I gotta have a better title. I gotta drive a better,
superior.
superficially superior, bro.
got to be superficially
Well,
superior.
let me throw this in there. I agree with what y'all saying. I do, for an ounce of devil's advocate, so to speak.
Let's go for it.
There is a, we all not all stereotypes are true, but they come from some truth, right?
Okay.
There's some type, like, or else it wouldn't exist. You can't say a group of people something without, like, there is some type of statistical data, whether it's
Right.
experience data or, like, depending on the subject matter, that says, okay, this type of people have a high propensity to do this. And maybe in his arena where he's from, whether he may have experienced or know that or is believing the stereotype that exists, that, like, he don't want to be on the end of the argument that you ain't shit, you get your punk at, like, you don't want to be on that receiving. That's a lot of men are groomed to be leaders, maybe for various reasons, like, as we say, like, to lead the household and this, that, and the third, by other, like, if you had a man teach you stuff like that. But it's some type of subconscious thing where you're like, you ain't gonna kick me out, or you ain't gonna tell me I ain't
I'm
something.
gonna keep it
Like,
real. I'm gonna keep it real. I think this is a Zophir. So for the listeners, right, there are certain Zophirs.
what?
I'm gonna tell you, like, but both Zoe and Cleveland, they had one fear about being in college. The only fear they had was that they would be walking with food in the middle of the cafeteria and they would trip and fall.
That
No
was his
fear.
biggest fear.
That is not
true.
rational. Nobody
Nobody
gonna
thinks
say,
about that.
exactly. And I think this is another one of those, like, with your broke ass. And
It's
if y'all
exactly
have a
the-
home,
Dog, I'm not the only one. Time out.
That's
Time out.
exactly that.
With the fall in the calf, me and Cleveland, okay, we the only ones because we seen that. But
seen it too
with your
many
broke ass, that is not. We're not on an island with that one. That is you can ask a group of go in a couple of barbershops. I'm telling you, bro, they're not trying to hear that with your like that argument because it's just thrown out there unnecessarily. Like, what does that have to do with who ain't take the chicken out? Like, why I got to be that? Like, I'm not mad. I forgot. Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, things like that actually happen in real life and two people.
Yeah.
And maybe, like you said, they pass it along or harbor it, and then his reaction is something like that. I'm okay with not being the breadwinner. I'm waiting to be a stay-at-home dad. I'll be like, ladies, you want to pop for this new gig? Let's get it, yo. I'm trying. Like, I'm set. I could cook. I could do. You know what I mean? I'm like OCD. The house gonna be fresh. Like, what's up? But
there's only but so much that can be said about this dumbass statement. But for shits and giggles, let's go around and say, you know, if that was said in your presence, right? We chilling at the crib. That was said in your presence. As a man, that's your boy, Cleveland. How do you respond?
I would have to completely disqualify that line of thinking. And I think, honestly, knowing me, right? I just have to speak personally. I will wonder who hurt you. Like, who did this to you? Honestly, that comes from a place of hurt. When you hear something that at face value doesn't make any sense, like, you got to consider, like, where have you been hurt? You know what I'm saying? On some real stuff. And if this wasn't a person who was my friend, I would have to explore that. Like, bro, like, what Cindy do to you, bro? Like, I know it was Cindy, because Cindy made mad money and y'all broke up. So it had to be Cindy.
I know you were still working at the school.
Yeah, so you were still trying to get your life together. Like, you know what I mean? But maybe she was just immature. Like, I would have to address, like, to me, the root of it is, like, who hurt you, honestly.
Because Cleveland gonna remember that one time that homeboy came to him talking about Cindy talking about showing like janitors.
Yo, but can I tell y'all, Cleveland will do exactly how he just described. Like, he will ask you, like, you'll be in the car, and that's usually like a car conversation. So he be like, yo, what makes you, like, where's that come from? And that's not right. Me, how I would answer it, like Var said, chances are you know what happened or you know where it came from. And anybody in the chapter knows, I'm probably gonna throw it in your face. Like, man, you just saying that because like, that's just me, because that's so crazy and so outrageous that I'm going to have to address you, but I'm going to, like, go in like, yo, wait, time out. Say that again. I'm like, yo, you out of your damn mind. That's me. Everybody know me. And I'm gonna be like, yo, you just saying that because she told you, because she took the car back when your ass, like, y'all know how I do. I'm just saying. You asked me a truthful question.
You just saying that because Cindy said your check missing a zero. That's why you saying that.
Right. All of a sudden, your girl get a new car that you can't afford. Now you tight.
Yeah, because she told you what to bring my shit back.
Yo, if somebody says that to you, that is a huge blow to the ego, bro.
Oh, bring my shit back.
But they sunned you. They sunned you because
they
like
literally sunned you.
If you have anything of anybody's and they said bring my shit back, I want to fight.
Wait a minute, bro. All right, let's explore this other side. Really, we got to keep going to this other side a little bit.
Okay.
Because I'm not standing up for my man, but I'm saying I have experienced men that think like that, and I've also experienced women who get in relationships like I never got that, but I got the little
you're not gonna say it.
No, well, it's not with the person I'm with now, but like,
no,
I did get a little like, oh, I own my own house. Oh, you still renting? Yada yada yada.
Oh,
bro, I'm telling you, this kind of stuff exists.
So like, I could have bought a little house on the prairie too, bitch. Shut up.
It's not too far fetched, bro.
My gut reaction when he finished, he said, "You still written?" A word was about to come out of my mouth that I don't even say.
Like, wait,
you're about to tuck your lips in and say it too. Like, say it man hard.
Who is you?
Bro, but I'm telling you, there is like this thing that, like, some women, I would never say all women, some women, when they're more successful than their significant other, when things get thick, they like to throw that little thing out there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I paid for dinner last night. Like, I offered.
I ain't the one that keep failing these interviews.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, bro.
But also, you know what it is too? I would tell you this. If you're the dude, this is advice to the dudes out there that are with high-powered women that, let's say the guys aren't making the same or more. Just do your part, bro. If you could still be the organizer, the planner, the whatever. You just using her bread, but who cares? You still coordinating, organizing, planning. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people, just because you got money don't mean you know what to do with it. Yeah, I mean, a
Bro,
lot of people are terrible with bread. What you
no,
about to say?
almost no. The way you said that, like, be the organizer, be the person that doesn't. I mean, you still using her bread, but you know, like I said, like that though.
I'm just
No,
saying, so
but look, but listen. Middle,
I mean,
middle
you using
class,
her money, but
middle class dudes be fucking up. Middle class dudes be fucking up
oh
because
man,
broke dudes play their part. Broke dudes can
better
always
believe it.
get a woman
sometimes.
that's making bread and like
Oh yeah.
rock her world, right? Like you night man. You just come through. You got a place to sleep, and you got some food in your stomach. The dude that got bread, he know how to take care of himself. It be the niggas in the middle that be trying to act funny, like
But middle class always getting screwed in everything, whether it's
right.
tuition, because we not broke enough to get assistance, but you ain't got enough to really
That's
afford
for
this shit.
sure.
Like, so is middle class is if you're a middle class guy too, like I think I heard some comedian somewhere say that because like if you a broke dude, you always get these chicks that because I used to say, yo, where's these girls at that like dudes be getting cars and clothes? I'm like, yo, I never had a girl buy me nothing. Like, where does this happen at? Like,
You was
I
too
don't see these
successful.
people.
Because
You was
I
too
don't see these
proud.
people.
No,
No,
you
I'm
was too
not that proud.
successful. You was too
You got
successful. If you
got
made a
you
lot
got
less
your own
money,
car.
no, that's the
Yeah.
thing. If you made a lot less money and you ain't had no job and you play video games all day, I am 99% sure you would find that kind of woman.
Like, because, so
If you was
what is it
bringing
that,
box wine and the whammy to the crib instead of like
That's all you
driving your
need.
own car, just box wine and the whammy. That's it.
that's it, you ain't holding it down. The
And a
power
mixtape.
hours,
You
That's
got to be
it.
power
about to
hours.
record a mixtape, and you
It
got
gotta be that,
all
yo,
the.
because we be too tired. Like we working, nigga. You got all the energy to bust a couple rounds down. Like I'm tired, nigga. I just did a 40 stuff. You know what I mean? Like I don't got time for you.
That's his currency. His currency is the whammy and the box wine. Like I'm gonna keep you regulated. I'm gonna keep you happy. But I have to say this before we wrap up. There are I can probably name like 5, 6 genuine women who are high achievers, make really great money, who want love, have the house, has the car, has the career, but the only thing that they're missing is love. And for some reason have not been able to find that. So in my mind, in my world, there are way more women like that than there are of what you're broke ass. So
Yeah.
I'm
Very
in.
true.
I see it. I empathize. I can't understand it, and attractive women too. And it's just like when you hear
Bad jokes.
things like this that go viral,
I got a
it
question.
makes me understand why I have friends that are pretty powerful, got all the things, and are single.
Yeah, and I have a question to go with that, right? So I sent this to a good friend of my hours that you know, and this is the homie. We converse frequently, and she shares her like odd dating stories. Like yeah, like I'm like yo. What? How? Like, why? Like, my reaction to these things, like, these people exist? Like, where you be finding these people at? Stuff like that. And a lot of it is just stupid stuff that they say, like, on the date or some wild shit. I'm like, dang, I would never. But I've had, not really, we've had our back and forth, like, tennis match. And, like, yo, I'm, like, I feel like I'm almost telling her to downgrade her expectation, which I'm not really trying to do. I'm not telling you to downgrade your expectation, but her expectation financially of trying to meet, it's like weird. It's like you're
Is
not putting if you're
she
not
making
putting
that kind of
yourself in
money?
those. Yeah, a lot of good money. And if you're not putting yourself in those arenas with other people like that, then you have to teeter. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you can't
You got to be in the
you
spaces where the people
that's what I'm
who are high
saying.
earners are.
That's what I mean. So you can't expect like I'm gonna pull a rabbit out of hat, but you don't got no hat. Like you know what I'm saying? Like you're not
No,
even looking
right.
in a hat store. You looking
But it's not.
somewhere else.
It's not even a rabbit.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, yo, and so that's what I want to know. Like the question is like, am I wrong or should we be telling them? Because it's not. My thing is, as a person who's in a situation who is married, you know what I'm saying? And I
Oh, so you
know
better
I
clean
don't.
that up.
No, listen. I don't expect these people to be projects like fix people up. Like, a lot of times that's the situation.
Yeah.
You think you could fix somebody up. But I do know that there are genuine people who just don't make certain, they are good people. They are teachers, they are janitors, garbage men, you know what I mean, or women, depending, these people, these essential workers, so to speak, because all essential workers, we learned the whole last 2 years how essential workers are and what they are. And we also learned that a lot of them don't make a lot of money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So are they not good people for you to talk to or to go to that arena?
You gotta ask the question. Ask the question.
That is the are we telling you to lower? Is that lowering your standard? Are we telling you that they're not, or because I think you're missing a whole population of good people that would treat you right and do everything right by you because you're putting a dollar amount on that.
Yes and no. They are missing out, but sometimes it's just a matter of, you know how they say your network is your net worth? When I was broke, I thought it was some bullshit. And now I don't. You have to kind of be around now you have to kind of be around people who are in similar situations like you, right? For me, my situation was different. You know what? It wasn't different. I found my fiance in graduate school. That's a place where everybody is looking to elevate, right? You're looking to go from where you are now and to get more resources to go somewhere else. That's the equivalent. Some people meet their partners at church, right? You have a spiritual foundation, right?
Mm-hmm.
She might need to go to the bank.
But that's what I was saying. But everything you're saying is like people. The whole thing I'm trying to explain to these people is like, a relationship. The best one's you building something together. You're growing something together. Like you said, you're in grad school.
Off the street.
That's what I'm just trying to articulate to these individuals, and it's like you just said church. Okay, so y'all have a spiritual growing together. You know what I mean?
Right.
Grad school, we have both are going career growth together. It could be anything, something you find something that y'all can grow together, and that'd be like y'all path. It doesn't necessarily have to be.
You know what? If you are still listening, it's Women's History Month, right? I think we need to have an Ask Jux. We need to have an Ask Jux, right? If you don't want to be on camera, cool. You can just be your voice. You just ask questions about how we feel about certain things, because it makes me think, Zoe, sometimes one man is not enough to convey a message as to that's just how you think. Yada, yada, yada. I know best. Mm-hmm. But you don't. So, ladies, if you're listening and you want to be on the pod, you want to talk about relationship things, you got relationship questions, you want to talk to the four hubbies in the possible, hit us up in our DMs, Juxtaposition.Pod on Instagram. We can have an Ask Jux section and just talk about things, because we are literally folks who found our people in various ways. And I honestly would be interested, Zoe, to see if your friend would be one of the people who want to have that conversation, because I think it would be cool. I think it would be cool.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, we got a couple of friends though. You know that, Var, that we've had these countless conversations for decades at this point.
and in these days, and I had this conversation with Cleveland some time ago, we don't need to shy away from the word expert, right? You are an expert in your own domain. Your wife is not the first woman you have wooed and got to fall in love with you. So there is certain expertise that we all have and we all occupy from our experience. But if I'm being honest, us three right here, and I'm sure both Kev and James can empathize, we all have similar aspects as to how we were attracting our partners. And those are the commonalities that I think women who are high achieving but might be single and may be missing some pieces about how to make it happen could stand to benefit from, if they're okay with that. So Ask Jux, man. This is the month of March. If y'all want to talk to us, hit us up in the DM on Instagram, and we can get this conversation going.
Yes, sir.
That sounds good.
So, with that being said, we're gonna wrap up this conversation and get to your favorite segment.
Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario?
Hey, yo, Zoe knows this. Zoe knows that. Zoe light skin. Zoe stay black.
Yes, y'all.
Don't stop.
There we go.
I ain't get one in all day, so I had to slip.
Oh yeah, that's good. Well, like brother Varsinio Hall said, it is Women's History Month. We went from Black History Month to Women's History Month. So shout out to all the women out there, all the strong women that are holding it down and creating new legacies and setting records and doing all that good stuff. And first topic that came to me, I'm just trying to figure these people out, right?
Oh boy.
I'm trying to understand how people can be dumb niggas with smartphones. Right? I just don't understand it, right? You have a smartphone, look things up before you get into weird situations. And I say that because, unfortunately, Brittany Griner is in a whole heap of trouble right now, dealing with substances. They said it was vape pen and cartridges and all that good stuff. Listen, you have a smartphone, you travel. You know, America, maybe it's an American entitlement that we have, but guess what? The rules here do not apply over there. So anybody out there, Google, do your research, whatever it is on your phone before you get on that plane and find out what will and will not put your ass in jail depending on what country you in. And also understand there's no bail structure. That it's what they feel like because you are American.
You know what? I don't know about this one. I might have to push back because I think if it's a hammer, if it's a gun, a vape, I can understand you just harmlessly thinking it's in your backpack. It's a vape. It ain't weed. It's a vape pen.
But she had different refills, like the cartridges, which is considered like the thing is in Japan and if you go to Japan, you done. You have any type of weed or anything like that. You see what I'm saying? You go to Amsterdam, it's all day, blow it down. Right. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. Like to us, it's nothing. We're saying vape, but you tell that to the Japanese and see what happens. You tell that to the Russians, and the thing is, not even that. How about right now though? Like right now, they in the middle of something.
It happened 2 weeks ago.
They were still fighting. Like the war been happening for a little bit, bro. They've been rocking out for a minute. Like that we on the second or third week of this war at this point. It's just stuff, you know what I mean? So I just think that's like crazy to me. I want to tell everybody, please do your research before y'all start traveling on what can and can't get your like. I mean, ASAP Rocky had to deal with it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, getting in the fight.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's still certain things like you can or can't. You can't just punch a nigga in the face like you're
His
American.
prison cell was mad nice, bro. I saw a picture of it on. I'm like, Swedish. He was in Sweden, right? I'm like, Swedish prison is something sweet, bro.
Swedish prison sweet.
They actually are one of the few prison systems in the world that actually are about reform. They actually care about reform. They're not like just trying to detain people and throw them away.
A fun fact: I love Swedish fish.
Oh my god,
they got to be fresh though.
Yeah, they get a little hard, right?
Be soft.
The bag been
they got to be soft.
Yeah,
but the fresh soft joints.
Another fun fact: it's the only fish I can eat.
Oh, true fish. That. Allergic. Yeah, he's a good one. That's like this page I've been following, dad jokes. It's mad funny. You gotta look it up on Instagram. This is how me and Amber be in the house rolling. But anyway, next we had there was a little scare according to the folks overseas with the Queen of England. Apparently she had she was sick, Rona, whatever. They thought she was going to tap out, and there was a rumor that she had already perished, but that's not true. She's still alive and well. Something happened. I don't know.
They had her blow up meeting the Prime Minister of Canada today. That wasn't her. That was a clone.
Yeah.
That was a double.
Yeah. somebody asked me like, how do I feel about that? I'm gonna be honest, and I hope that we won't get taken down for this. I'm not sure if I'm actually going to feel bad if anything that happens to the family of the people who constructed racism.
Yeah, I was about to say I don't really give a, you know what I mean? You know what? So whatever, it happens. You long overdue anyway, but.
And people are so appalled with what we're witnessing right now with Russia and the Ukraine, but I mean,
it's been happening since 2014. They've been beefing for a minute.
not even just that. It's like, it's white on white crime. Like it's different when things are happening where people are lighter complected versus countries where they're darker complected. I mean, even in the news, you see how they reported.
I was about to say that was my next thing.
In Africa or Iraq, you wouldn't expect it in the Ukraine. Like, nah. Like,
the one dude went straight ham though. He said these are blonde, blue-eyed people. Like he just straight like, oh, go look up. Though. Yo, the clips is crazy. Yo, it's nuts. So I don't know what the hell's going on around here, but it's a lot of weird stuff. And then President Biden, he just messed me up, yo, because I was watching that whole State of the Union. Yo, but he was. Hey, he be saying all type of stuff wrong, and I'm like, I know what he meant. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just kind of weird. Yeah. He says, and then he didn't say nothing about the student loan jump off, and I'm like, oh my man, you do understand? There's a whole population of people. The only reason why your ass is here is because of that. Like, I'm still waiting for you to press that button, G. Like everything else, I ain't really f with you. I know your history. Come on, bro. Elizabeth Warren been said. Press the button.
I'm sad to report that even if we get 10 shaving off the top.
No, I don't need that 10. 10 ain't nothing, yo. I don't need 10. If you want to just give you want to do 10, just give me a 10 check. That's it. Don't even send it to them. Let me rock it.
I'll take care of it.
Don't do that.
Directly to
don't do that.
I'll take care of it.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I like to be in charge of my own finances.
What does that mean? What is that? What
believe you me? I don't gotta ask my mom or somebody who come up with those.
Believe you me, I'll take care of that.
Yeah, that he killed me with that one. Y'all was so pissed off. I was like, why waste this hour listening to this man? He ain't even get to it. Terrible. That's so it? That's it. I'm gonna wrap it up right there because I was tight. So there you go.
Well, for those who have been listening, who are loyal fans in Justice League, it has been our mistake. We have not done a Serenity Prayer the last 2 weeks, and
heathens.
We apologize. Clearly, I don't know gospel songs, so.
You know melodies from heaven. Melodies from heaven.
I do. Rain down.
Rain.
So, without further ado, give us the fucking Serenity Prayer.
Oh my God. These
Lord,
you talking about hell points? Yes, hell points.
I'm wrong, but somebody will have that. You see that tattoo that I sent you? Somebody had the whole joint tattooed on them. What's worse?
What, tattoo in the Serenity Prayer? That's a bad thing, right?
Not really.
Or me saying the fucking Serenity Prayer. That's emphatic.
No, definitely the latter.
The latter of the two. You gotta, you definitely got a toe on the hell side right now.
It's not like a slam dunk of the Serenity Prayer. It's not like, it ain't. That's how I feel like if you say it's
people
like
got scripture tattooed on them.
Yeah, people get tattoos of scriptures and stuff all the time nowadays. Like,
I'm not talking about.
I didn't talk about
if I had a curse word on top of it, it's more like an exclamation point. It's like cheering you on.
Yeah, you're not supposed to curse when you're talking about.
You trying to clear up what you just did. You just need to pray. Yeah. Just pray. Just pray. Ask for forgiveness. The Bible says He's just and willing to forgive.
Yo, you're not supposed to have any curse words in this realm of prayer.
So you told me Kirk Franklin was your shit, so I don't want to hear.
No, Cleveland said that. Cleveland was in the car. We was driving. Cleveland, that's all him. I'm not taking that L right there. That's the old pastor, freaking deacon over there.
The stump. The whole stump, the motherfucking stump. That's what people said.
He didn't say that. I didn't say that. It ain't over. Me the boat with you.
It ain't over.
What you just said. Try to bring me with you. Lord, that was him. That was not
me. Yeah, I can't.
You watch the podcast. You know exactly what's going on.
Yeah, please make sure. Don't. Anyway, I'm gonna stop playing with the Lord. Y'all playing too much, y'all. Now I gotta go burn some sage messing with y'all. Anyway, that's for good luck and get the demons out. So, God, we want to ask you to grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference between the two.
And as they say, God know my heart. Until next time, this has been episode 66.
I hope so.
Keep doubling down. Like
this is Route 66.
We cool.
Oh.
Like See? All right, y'all.
This is-
We got to get out of here. All right, y'all. Peace.
Peace.